Hey everybody, it's Matt from the house and I'm here with Emmett from Union Bindings and he's going to give us a little sneak peek of the 22-23 Union lineup. Let's check these things out. All right, first up we've got the STR, which is a super dope binding. This is a binding where if you don't have a lot of money to spend but you still want to get a really good high-end performance, this thing has actually got everything that you need. And the really cool thing about it too is they added a new high back to this, which makes it look like a more expensive binding, but it's not.
Yep, still at the same price at $220. We upgraded the high back. We took, this high back was on our Atlas model in the past, so it's more of an all-mountain binding. In comparison to like the Flight Pro, this is going to have a little more structure to it, be a little more supportive binding, just for an all-around rider.
And I think a really cool thing about this one too is when you look at the strap, this strap used to be on their $550 binding and they've got new straps that have come out and they basically moved it down to this. So again, you're getting a lot of performance, really good bang for the buck out of this binding. All right, next up we've got the Trilogy for the women, and this is actually probably one of the best selling bindings you've got for the women's because it's basically the women's version of the Force, right?
Yep, it's a women's Force.
Awesome. So yeah, you're getting a lot of really cool features in this. And I think the strap is kind of one of the most notable things, right?
Yep, yeah, it's got the exo frame strap. The whole All Mountain series is going to be built that way. It's a little more supportive binding for somebody that's going to be taking some trips to the hill or to the mountains, but a good daily driver for just about anybody. So
if you're that girl that has that board like the birds of a feather, you're riding one board, you're riding absolutely everywhere. This is a great combo to put with a board like that. All right, next up we've got the Strata, which pretty big news on the Strata this year, right?
This binding came down in price quite a bit.
Cool, so this thing kind of replaced the Contact Pro in the lineup a little bit, and it really didn't have to change much on it, just kind of changed the price, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, great freestyle binding. You can obviously ride this thing all mountain, but if you're a guy that likes to ride in the park a lot and spend some time outside of the park, this is kind of their binding, right?
Exactly. It's a little softer flexing base plate, so it's going to give you more of a surfy, kind of cruisy ride. All
right, and next up we've got a pretty notable binding, the Atlas. Every year is a crowd favorite. It's a team favorite too. And then with the Atlas, they've actually added a new version of the Atlas this year in the Atlas Pro.
Atlas Pro, and then we'll also have one called the Atlas FC. That's a carbon version.
Well, so what are the big upgrades from the Atlas to the Atlas Pro?
Atlas Pro is going to have a forged carbon gas pedal on it, and carbon injected. The whole series is going to have the new forward lean adjustment. It's just a little thumb screw.
That thing is pretty rad.
Lower, get rid of all the contraptions on the outside.
So yeah, so basically all mountain, go anywhere, do anything, but a little bit on the sturdier side, so a little quicker reacting. And then if you just want that real aggressive version, that's where the Atlas Pro comes into play. And then if you want the aggressive and lightweight, and you're ready to spend a little extra coin, that's where the FC comes into play. All right, last up, I am super excited about this binding. As soon as I saw it in the catalog, it was like you're immediately drawn to it. But then after seeing all the tech and the features on this thing, it's kind of mind-blowing what goes into this binding. So this is the new Ultra for this year. So give us a quick run through on the craziness that is the Ultra.
I mean, the gist of it is that the whole base plate is soft. It's built like a running shoe. So you're going to have shock absorption and rebound in the heel. The whole thing will twist and move with your board, and all the three layers are fused together.
So there's no glue in there?
No, just heat fused together. You got memory foam in the high back and in the strap.
Oh, that's right. They put the memory foam on the back of it.
Yep.
So you still kind of get that exo frame on the outside.
Yeah, you get the structure of the strap, but then you have memory foam to take away all the pressure points from your laces or any odds and ends on your boots.
Just as soon as you think they can't think of anything else, they think about it. And the other thing about this binding is it's insanely light too. Yeah. It's one of those things where you pick it up and you feel really strong for a second. So, but yeah, definitely a notable binding. That's I think some of the pros, I think we already saw Jess Kimura on a pair of these. Yeah. It just does come in a men's and a women's version. And then you were saying that the white one too is actually going to come in kind of a unisex.
Yeah, the white will be unisex. So from men's large all the way down to a women's small, we'll have a range of sizes.
And I can tell you right now that colorway is Real nice. All right, Emmett, thanks for giving us a quick run through on the new Union stuff for the 22-23 season. This stuff is, I mean, it's again, like I said, you think they can't do anything else? And they surprise us every single year. So if you guys got any questions about anything we talked about in the video or any of the Union bindings, leave some comments down below. We're on there every single day trying to answer your questions. We want to make sure we get you into some rad gear, but most importantly, we want to make sure that's actually going to fit you and your riding style. Also, make sure to like, subscribe, definitely get that bell on too so you can find out when all the new videos drop. And no matter what kind of riding you're doing, if you're riding in the park, if you're riding in the POW or anywhere in between, you like a soft binding, like a stiff binding, it doesn't matter. Grab yourself a pair of Union bindings and get out and ride, because any day of riding is a good day of riding. Oh!